Welcome everybody to the podcast.
What's up?
Tales in the Hood.
Yes, I am your host, Big A.
And I am your secondary host, The Real Deal.
And we are here to tell you what's going on in the hood.
In the Hood.
Our first topic for this podcast would be crime in the hood.
Crime in the hood has gotten a little bit outrageous here in the past few years. I'm just gonna have to say this personally. I do believe that it has a lot to do with our government and our system, as far as our mayor not really getting a handle on things. You know what I'm saying? Getting a handle on when the riots happen, things like that.
I agree
That's just
with
my
you.
personal opinion.
I agree with you to some extent. You gotta also ask yourself, are the people actually getting involved? You gotta ask yourself, people are paying money to these politicians because you have to realize you're actually getting money taken out of your check, and that money is going to these politicians to do the job they're supposed to do. A lot of times they'll give you the runaround and not even do what they're supposed to do. You got to ask yourself: are you paying them to do what you want them to do? Yeah, I understand you're one person, but you got to also put your voice in. If you're voting, that's your money that's going towards whatever he's doing.
Yeah, I do agree. I've always said, if you really, I'm not the type of person to believe that if you haven't vote, you really don't. Me personally, you just don't really have a say so. You know what I'm saying? Because that you're not. What I want to call, if I'm saying it right, you're not standing up for your equal rights. You're not standing
that's
up for your
true.
equal rights.
If that's one person told me an important thing. They say if you don't stand for anything, you'll fall for anything.
You'll fall for everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right, and that's true.
So all right. But yeah, the crime rate here in Indianapolis, is just much too high for me, just a little bit. It seems to me that people are not speaking up, or, not, if you, the slogan, I guess you could say, see something, say something.
Yeah, but there's also that other slogan,
snitches get stitches. Yeah, I do.
So yeah, you gotta ask yourself, where do you draw the line? Like he said, the crime index, 4%.
Yeah.
Of getting attacked by a violent crime. That's just,
That's high, man. That's
the crime rate, 465.4 for Indy. The national, just a little perspective, what you want is 0.
Right.
But the national, you'll never get 0. There's not.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna get that 0. No,
there's not good
you're in
people.
heaven.
There's not good people in the U.S. But the U.S. national average is around like 260, but we're at 460. I mean,
yeah, that's ridiculous. That's well over half of what the national is.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say we're doing something special, but we need to probably stop what we're doing.
Yeah, we really do.
I mean, I understand. I mean, I guess it's a generational thing too, because you got to ask yourself, when you were young, you didn't care about that kind of stuff,
Yeah, we didn't have to really worry about that. You know what I'm saying?
You knew as a youngster, people are doing crime all around you.
Yeah,
but when you get older, you get kids, things change.
Yeah. Right. So I do agree with you. A generational thing. I have to say that the generation children nowadays, the millennials or Gen X children, if we want to call them. To me, it seems like they don't have no morals. They don't have no standards or nothing. You step on a shoestring. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want to cut you off, but we are the Gen X. Yeah, the generation you're talking about is the millennials.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So it is, with all sincerity, it's sad because you really can't do anything without someone raising a gun nowadays. It used to be a time when you can go outside and if you had a problem with somebody, you fought it out, you duked it out, and you was at one end of the park, they was at the other end of the park, and y'all was cool the next day. Now you be lucky if you make it outside the park.
Yeah, and a lot of people say, well, we're just doing this because these cops are just outrageous. No, I can't. I'm not going to say that's generalizing. Let's say it like that. because there are some bad cops on the force.
Yeah,
we need to get them out, but also they need to be trained better. Let's put it that way. Let's some facts. In 2010, we had 1,438 male officers, 210 female. But now we do have more officers. We got 1,788 male and almost 300 female. And that's basically like 2.6 for every 1,000 residents. You know, so every 1,000 residents they basically have a cop to watch over them. You know, you don't need one at all times, but that just tells you how protected you are in Indianapolis right now.
Right. My thing is, you know, but let me ask this question though, and anybody that want to and more than want to chime in, comment, or ask the question, please feel free to. But my thing is this, you know, I feel like in some sense we've lost faith in our community police, in our community, you know, in our police. I feel like the community is really kind of like giving up on it, because it seemed like the more that goes on, the less get done about it.
Lately, yeah, I guess I would say so. But I remember a time back when I was growing up. You know, my mother was part of a different generation. You know, her generation didn't mind getting, you know, talking to the police,
right,
having you know, community, you know, festivals where the police show up,
right, community meetings,
yeah, you know, just parties, you know, and you know, cops would just be walking around and no one harassed them, and nobody, you know, the police didn't harass us. They were just there.
Yeah.
But you know, nowadays, yeah, they're starting to get a bad stigma about it. But you gotta also, yeah, we're losing a lot of black people because of it. So you gotta walk that fine line.
Yeah, you know, my thing is this. You say walk a fine line. That's understandable, but I guess where our communities losing their faith in the police is, you know, instead of them evaluating the situation and really taking another look at it, you know, they're just quick to shoot. You know what I'm saying? They're quick to pull the gun, and you know, then they want to say, "Oh, my life was in danger." You know, well, how was your life, you know, in danger when this man's hands was up? You didn't find no weapon, but yet and still, you know, you getting off because you feel that quote, "My life was in danger," or "I feel like my life was in danger," and then what happens? This officer or these officers get off, and then the community is like, you know, what are we to do? You know, so
yeah, I agree with you. Let's go ahead and throw a little bit more facts in there. In 2010, Indianapolis, their crime rate, it was at 624.4 for Indianapolis, just Indianapolis alone.
Just Indianapolis alone,
and that's 2010. 2020. We went down to 503.9, but that's still 500 people. Yeah. Now, just to put it in perspective, this is all violent crime, by the way. The U.S. average is at 195.6 in 2010.
Wow. And that's just the U.S. average.
Yeah. U.S. That means that if you go to an average city in the U.S., that's what it should be.
We would like to make it zero.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's no way it's gonna be zero, but we would like to. But you know, that's just, you know, national average. But in 2020, yeah, it went up to 228.3. But compared to 503.9 in Indianapolis alone, you know, you got to ask yourself, what are you gaining by not snitching? You know, I mean, there's other ways to do it without snitching, but come on. I mean, if you know you got somebody who's about ready to commit a crime it's better you tell them, hey, man, don't do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Rather than get them caught up and then you can't even tell them because you can't snitch.
Right,
It's better to be Debbie Downer than to be a snitch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
I agree.
And then that's the same as property crime. If someone's breaking into your house or they rob you on the street, well, either way, it's still a violent crime. But that violent crime in 2010, it was 581.
Looking at the U.S. average, and once again, the U.S. average, at the average of 276.4, so that's still well over half. We're doing well over half of what the U.S. is doing.
But that was in 2010. But in 2020, we did drop it down. We went from 580 to 326. That's a good drop. Yeah, I give you that. That's in property crime, but still the national average dropped too. It was at 169.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to be at 169, but let's be honest. If we're in Carmel, that's probably where you'll see that 169.
Yeah. Someplace, why
are we doing dirt to our own communities?
Right. That's another thing too. Why do we allow it in our communities? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if I feel like this, truth be told, I wouldn't want this in my community, and I would want the community to stand up and to say we're tired. We don't want this no more.
Well, I can understand why a lot of people do what they do. It's just a matter of why can't you ask for help before you get to that level? Why can't you say, hey man, I'm on my luck, I'm down on my luck. Can you give me a foot up rather than a handout? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Someone's looking, they don't have a job and they say, man, I've been down on my luck. Tell him where he can go get a job. You don't have to actually give him a job.
Iron sharpens iron. Yeah, I agree. But it's just so much. That right there would probably be another topic. But to me, it is so much that we inherited from our ancestors, coming back where if you see somebody doing good over here, you got to take what they got, you know what I'm saying, and try to capitalize on them in order to get what they got, you got to get them out the way. And and
that's the way things are going now.
Yeah, that's the way things are going.
I don't like it, but just once again, some more facts. I know a lot of people saying, well, I don't have to worry about this. It's mostly those black people doing the job, doing the crime. Well, you got to ask yourself. The population in Indianapolis, now this is the population in Indianapolis, people, is about 60% white. This is Indianapolis. You would think, the city would be more densely populated with others, but no, we are 60% white. We are only 28% black.
Hispanics take up 11.6%. Asians are 3.3%.
And then they got others, which is when they consider others, they consider people who have mixed race or different nationalities other than Asian, Hispanic, black, or white. And that's 7.11. So it's kind of hard to say that we're the ones doing the crime, but it's hard to say that we're not the ones that are always on the news. Because that's what they want to put out there.
Yeah, they definitely want to keep us in the news on the bad reports. You know what I'm saying? They don't never want to give our culture and our melanated brothers and sisters, and even our Latino brothers and sisters, credit where credit is due.
And that's what I give to the baby boomers. When we were growing up in that era, I used to see it a lot, and I didn't appreciate it then, but I appreciate it now. They used to show them holding strong to their heritage, holding strong to their community,
Most definitely. Back in my day, tell you how close knit the community was. If Sister Louise over here, Miss Louise, seen you do something, you know what I'm saying? She can snatch you up and she'll tag you a couple of times and be like, boy, I'm going to tell your mama and your daddy on you. And then when you got home, when your mama and your daddy got home, then they tag you. So you done got 3 in one day. That was a community. That was a village that raised, the child. You know what I'm saying?
As soon as they see you going over there, please don't tell, please don't tell.
Right. You sitting up there sweating bullets. Oh my goodness, my mama and daddy going to find out. But that's when the community stuck together. That's when they watched out for one another. Our roots were really founded and grounded then. You know what I'm saying? They were really, they were really just, hey, grandmas talk to you, aunties talk to you now. Now you got grandmas who's in the club. You know what I'm saying? And,
hey, they deserve it after raising some of us, but
yeah, but when I say grandmas, I'm talking about the grandmothers of today. You know, they're like 35, 40, not even, you know,
that's
they're
a
not
different
even 40.
generation.
You know, it's a different generation. So.
Yeah, like I said, media is causing a lot of this, but you know, they like to focus on murder and, you know, a lot of other stuff. But let's just go ahead and break down the actual crimes that were committed. This is facts from 2020 once again. Thefts, it take up about 53% of Indianapolis crimes.
Wow.
Auto theft, about 13%, 13.7. Burglaries.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure how burglaries and thefts differ, but you know, they got burglaries as 13%.
Well, sometimes I guess people would think of burglary as like you breaking into a residence, breaking into a business.
But wouldn't that still be theft when you get in there?
When you burglarize, in a category, but when you burglarize something, it's a little different versus, you know, I can go into a store and just steal something, or, you know, or I go over, to the Lowe's and pick up something that don't belong to me, you know. That, to me, that would be a difference with burglary.
I guess so. Assault, they're at 12%. Robberies, 5.4.
Now here's what the next one is what I'm surprised to see.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that, you know, we don't want it. We don't want none of this. But to have rape down at 1.4%.
Yeah, there was only 461 cases. Now I understand a lot of those might have not been reported, and if you have been victimized, please report it. We don't advocate that. But to be at 1.4, it's kind of odd, but I guess that just means we're not that into that kind of thing. We respect women here in Indianapolis. That's what I'm a hope.
I'm hoping so. But you know, now that I sit here and when we're talking about it, I really believe that it's the crime really would fit the generation now. And what I mean by that, back in our days, you had the hold-ups, the robberies, and you know what I'm saying, you find the murders, but now people are not, this generation, I don't think they're really into the rape category, you know what I'm saying? I really don't.
They understand that, you know, there's that Me Too and all that going on. They don't want to be caught up in that.
Yeah, so I think, you know, that right there, that I'm glad to see go down. I don't want it to happen, and then like my partner said, like Big A said, please, if you happen to be one of those victims, please say something. Okay? Do not be afraid. Speak to somebody, a friend, a bishop, pastor, your teacher.
Yeah, even if you don't report it as a crime, at least get, you know, help dealing with it.
Yes,
because you don't have to live with that.
Yes, get that help. Get that help.
Arson, it's at 0.9, and the main one that people are seeing on the news mostly, murder. We only had 92. That's back in 2020. That's 0.5. Yeah. Right now we're sitting around 200, but that's, you know, like right now that's something that's, you know, a little bit crazy. But I think, you know, compared to what we've been doing, we can do better. But we can do a lot better. But overall, the news is making it a lot worse than it probably is.
Now that I will say this. Sometimes the news can hype up something. Yeah. You know, I mean.
Yeah, but 200 is kind of big.
Yeah, 200 is a lot.
But compared to
Indianapolis, I would like to say this: if we can please help control this murders. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't want to see little baby, little Ray go down. We really don't. We don't want to see our loved ones go down. But I look at it like this: if you did the crime, it's time for you to do the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if it's opposite, if the shoe was on the opposite foot, you would want somebody to sit there and, hey, find your loved one, or find the assault victim to your loved one's crime. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this: you know, get out, say something. You know, become anonymous. Become anonymous if you need to. You know what I'm saying? Say, hey, this is what I know. This is what I seen.
Yeah, just to give you a little background, delve a little deeper into it. I know you guys probably getting tired of all these facts, but you need to be aware, be armed with the facts when someone says crime is just outrageous out here. But if you have the facts, you'll be able to deal with it a lot better. Once again, in 2020, the gunshot deaths, they totaled 218, but everything else, other ways of dying, being beat to death, burned to death, stabbed, etc., those are only 27 people compared to the 218 of 2020. Crimes, the 205 of them were male that were victims, and 40 of them were female. So yeah, we're not not necessarily beating the women or killing the women, but we are they're still being a victim. Yeah,
they're still being a victim of abuse.
And as far as the ages, the most of them are coming from the ages of 18 to 25. That's about 35%, and then from 26 to 34 is 27%.
35 to 44 is 18.4%.
And all the rest are under 10. So, from 45 up, you got about, 12%.
Yeah.
And then from 18 down, 18 or younger is 1.1.
Right.
So, yeah. At least, that's one good thing. I don't want no one to die, but at least they're not taking our young kids from us as
I don't know, but the young kids are taking the young kids out here. They're taking each other.
They're at least 18, so they at least made a decision. They decided to go down that path. They're not under 18. That's from 2020. I will say that too. But.
So because here within the past few years, the increase of our young youth losing their life has went up dramatically. You know what I'm saying? We'll get those facts and everything to you over here with that one shortly, but it's just a really shame that we as a melanated culture, we seem to just, why do we hate one another? Because for me to kill you, for me to pull a trigger on you because something happened last month, last year, 2 years ago, I would really have to hate you, despise you, you know what I'm saying, and to want you rid of the world, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, people don't realize that when they're in the heat of the moment, that stuff will eat at you. If you did end someone's life,
as if you got a conscience. Because I've heard some people can sit there and pull a trigger.
A lot of people say they don't have a conscience and it affects them. They don't.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Because trust me, if I had to, I don't care how big and how bad you probably are, that's going to eat at you somehow. You're going to dream about it.
Real quick, this is an important thing though. Some more facts. The black culture, that is pretty much true. If we are 60% white in Indianapolis, you have to understand that 184 of the people who were killed were black.
Now that's a shame.
That is black on black crime. 160 of them male, 24 of them female. That is just, we need to do better on that.
Yeah, we definitely need to do better.
We only have 43 people are white, 15 of them were Hispanic, 3 of them were Asian.
And this was, if I'm not mistaken, for the year 2020.
Yes.
Yes, this was for the year 2020. And it's just shameful, you know what I'm saying? But let me ask you this question. How much do you think that the crime rates being solved versus our Caucasians versus our melanated neighborhoods?
That's a good question. I do have some facts, but they're not divided into race. Out of the murders that were committed, 154 were still unsolved. On 55 of them, there have been arrests made. 28 of them have been cleared, as in they've been solved. 6 warrants were issued, and 2 came down to police shootings. That means the police had to actually come out and take the people by force. But yeah, as far as by race, that might be a good thing to start keeping tabs of.
Yeah,
because
most definitely.
I agree with the police. If they say they're scared, let's get some facts on who's shooting back. You know?
Yeah.
Because if it's proof of us shooting back, how can we be upset with them?
You're right. You can't be, but let's just say that, just to pull off this incident. What about the gentleman who was, I don't know if you heard about it, who was in his grandmother's driveway, and he was asleep in another car. I guess he had a rental. And, it's just the way, to me, it's just the way that the law enforcement police officers approach certain people in different areas, in different neighborhoods. They'll go up and they may knock on the door of a Caucasian man if he's sleeping. Hey, sir, how you doing? Is everything okay? But when here it comes, grandmother might have called and said, hey, there's somebody suspicious in my driveway. And then all of a sudden you got police with their guns drawn because they're in a black neighborhood and they don't know what's going on. And then they're tapping at the door. And then all of a sudden this young man is startled. And then boom, there's 44 shots in this car.
Yeah, that is. First of all, it is sad.
That's very sad.
And second of all, it does cause for. You know what? Let's think about it this way. If we are more willing to give up money, would we be more willing to give up money towards body cams?
I would.
If the black community was willing to say, hey, I don't mind our taxes being taken if we know what they're going to be used on.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But here's the thing is, if you're going to have the body cameras and have them on the minute
that you get on
lights,
the scene.
Get on the scene, or I would say this, the minute the lights come on your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that, because a lot of times what happens is these officers won't turn on their body cameras until after the incident, which I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes you're not thinking. Here you are, you got, you may have a guy who's out here acting, in a butthole, and he done pulled his gun, and, what I'm saying, police have to, they may not be able to hit their chest real quick and turn the camera on. Yeah. Okay, but how about this? How about if we can't come up with a system? How about if they can't come up with a system to say, when we pull our service weapons, that's when the body camera should come on? That's the type of technology.
Or if we think we're going to pull it, go ahead and turn it on. If we can get a technology where the body camera just stays on for the whole 8 hours, because
why not?
They're paid by us, that we should know what's going on when they take their break, their lunch break. Yeah, go ahead and turn it off. We don't need to know where you're going. We don't need to know what you're eating. We don't need to know who you're talking to. We don't need to know none of that during your breaks. But you are a paid, service of,
to protect
the city.
Mm-hmm.
So we should know if we have them to give to you, they should be on all your whole shift.
Correct. But they should be.
Back to what we're going through. We just talked about all the victims, all the facts about the victims. Maybe we should give some facts about those in prison.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say, well, they deserve to be there. I don't know about that, but let's give some facts anyway.
Yeah. So and these are coming from the 2020 and
2020 is all we can basically get right now, because all the other facts are still being digested and added and tallied. Okay. So they do them by, I think, 5-year increments.
So you're looking at Indiana Department of Correction, total inmate.
Well, I think that'd be personnel. That'd be those working for the Department of Correction.
Okay. So that'd be the taxpayer per inmate would be $317.37
for the juvenile system. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So every juvenile that we send into the system, we're paying $317.30. Yeah, per inmate.
Wow.
And there's a total of 380 in 2020. Yeah, and the average age of those going in is about 16. And they break down about 85% of them male, 14% female. And the length of stay, they're about in there for about 82 months on average. 30 months for minor. Let's go ahead and get them all out of the way. 50% of them that are in there for the juvenile system are white. 33.69 are black.
And then we have the other, which is 15.41.
Yeah.
So, it's really, really, it's sad for anybody, for any of our youth to be in there. And I also feel like this too, sometimes if we get a hold of our youth at a young age, and instead of put them in reincarnation, rehabilitate them.
Yeah, there's a lot of things we could do.
We can, I look at it like this. The city of Indianapolis, man, I'm proud of the city of Indianapolis growing. We got the Indy 11 coming up. We've got the host of the NBA Finals is coming up. But my hotels, everything coming up. But my thing is this: if you can put all that taxpayer money into the things downtown and for our brothers and sisters of our counterparts, then why come you can't put that into our community? Why come you can't put that into, programs for the youth to do with anything, to do something positive? When I came up, we had boys, girls clubs. They closed the Boys and Girls Club right here on the west side.
Yeah.
On 16th Street. I used to enjoy going up there.
Yeah. When I think about that situation, I don't want to cut you off, but what I think about it is, it kind of defeats the purpose of saying that you're for Indianapolis, you're for us, and you sit there and have races that run through the hood, Hallville to be exact. You got people running through Hallville to go to the track, and run around the track, come back, downtown. They're running through our neighborhood, but we're not seeing any of the money that's generated from that.
No, you're not. You're not going to.
You're not giving anything to the youth in that neighborhood that you're running in, but you block off our streets. But you use us to get where you want to be. I mean, if it was that deep, you could have ran down 16th Street.
There you go.
You could have ran down Washington.
Any place, you're running straight through a neighborhood where you're not giving any help, where you're giving very little help.
And the help that you do give, you only put it on 10th Street so everybody can see it. It's on 10th Street.
It's only 10th Street.
Yeah, that's what I think about that situation. But let me hurry and get through these little facts. The juvenile, what they're in for, 20% property damage or theft or whatever. 32% is personal, so that means body-to-body harm. 9% sex offenders.
Wow.
And those are juveniles, people. I guess that's where most of them, we need to work on that. Substance control, 5%. That's good, I guess.
Yeah, it's good, but
it could be better because they should be at 0.
Yeah.
Others is just 22. That doesn't say what they're in for, which that's up to you to figure out as a parent. And 9% weapons related. That's just a juvenile. I'm gonna run real quick through the male. Well, not necessarily male, but the prison system itself. We got total personnel is working for the Department of Corrections, 12,966.
Total inmates at 22,776.
And we pay about let's just say $77 per inmate. Wow. Now, you got to remember, we were paying $317 for the juvenile. But we're paying less for the actual grown people. Who's getting rich off of this, people? Let's be real.
Yeah.
And even if you're paying that much to get them through, what are you feeding them? What are you giving them? How are you rehabilitating? You're basically...
What programs are you offering for them for when they get back out here on the street?
You're basically
before they get back out here on the street.
Yeah, you're basically just treating them as cattle.
Yeah.
90% of them are male in the prison system. 9% are female. So I guess that's somewhat good because,
And the average age, look at that. The average age of a person in prison or jail right now is 34 years old.
It's about the same people that are dying out there in the streets. That's about the same age.
Yeah, so
it's like you only got two options: jail or death.
See what I always say: if COVID don't kill you, somebody will.
It's really not funny, but let's continue. 51% of them are white. 30% are black. 3% are Hispanic, and then 15 are others, which is Asians and other races. Real quick. 37% person-to-person harm, 24% substance control, which I think that's getting better because they're starting to legalize some things or starting to decriminalize.
Decriminalize?
There you go.
There you go. I got
some things.
Thank you. But that's, to me, I feel like they're going to downplay that. Because right now the big trend now is fentanyl.
Yeah.
When you get that, you know what I'm saying? So, why are you gonna go after the little fish when you got a big shark out here that's knocking you? And I'm gonna be honest with you, fentanyl ain't something that brothers can go around here and get. And that's just true. You just don't walk up to your neighborhood boy, your dealer, and be like, "Hey man, let me get 4 grams and let me get 40 grams of them fentanyl." Yeah. You don't do that, so where it's coming from. I don't even know why
you would want to take it if you know it's a really high chance of you dying.
Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You tell me that just less than a piece of lead on your pencil can kill me. No, I'm not taking that. I'm sorry.
We gotta get smarter about these people.
Definitely got to get smarter.
I understand a lot of kids got to find escape from something, but that's not the way to do it.
But I'm pretty sure you heard it never becomes a problem until it hits our suburban neighborhoods, and when it gets out there, then it's, oh my God, it's a crisis. But if it's down in the hood. Yeah. It's all right. Lock them up or
you don't hear too many people say, "Oh, there's another African American that died from fentanyl." No, it's somebody's daughter, somebody's son that is good at basketball, or
right.
Come on, I don't know.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just look at it like this, man. That stuff. It does your I heard it does your body bad. You know what I'm saying? It really does. It's not one of our choice of drugs out here. I really can't say that, per se, for the black community, but I can just tell you now, I think it's a real problem.
I don't think it's Gen X doing it, but I can't
it's the
generalize
that's a millennial thing, and and because me myself, I hear and I know a lot, and when I see things from this younger generation, I see with my own eyes. Yeah, it's not us Gen X. It's definitely the millennials is doing this.
We need this. They got a promising future, even if they don't think so.
Yeah, they do, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? They just don't want to. They don't want to cope, I guess you could say.
They don't want to do a lot of things. One of them is listen to us.
Spoiled, man. They just spoiled.
We'll talk about that on another.
Yeah, they just spoiled.
That's another topic. But let's get back.
So here we are. Now let's take a look at where the crime is.
Ooh, man. Yeah. And in Indianapolis, there are some hot spots that you should avoid.
Yes, it is.
And I live in. Well, heck, I do live in one of those hot spots, but we got good people there too. Let's be honest though.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of good people, and I would say this. Hallville, I'm all for you from the Ville. I'm rooting from the. I'm bored. You my home. You know what I'm saying. But my thing is this. let's take care of home out here. You know what I'm saying? Us Hallvillians, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call yourself, let's take care of home, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's teach our young ones how to respect our elders. You know, go back to the old days. You know what I'm saying? This, you know, I ain't saying snatch up the neighbor's kid and whoop him, because you know nowadays, you know, parents do you in for that. But you know, at least talk to him, pull him out. Hey, young man, you know you shouldn't be doing that. Young man, pull your pants up.
Yeah, that's another area, 29th and Martin Luther
Oh
King.
my goodness, dude, over there. Hey, I used to live over there in that area, man. And
Hey, if any of you live in these areas, call us and let us know that we're over exaggerating. Let us know that you got good people there.
Yeah.
Stick up for your community.
Take up. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just speak up.
Tuxedo Park. A lot of people might not know exactly where that is, but that's the area of Gladstone in New York.
Yeah.
Let's just say a 5 mile, no, not even a 5 mile, maybe a 1 mile radius of that area.
Okay. All right. 42nd and Post. Murderville.
Yeah.
So, you know, listen. I don't go out to East Side for nothing if I don't have to, and if I do, I'm in my car, and I'm glad I got tents because I can't see them, they can't see me.
I'm sure they don't want to be in that situation. I'm sure they don't probably. Some people probably don't see it.
Yeah.
34th in Massachusetts.
You know what? I've never lived in that area, but I'm gonna say this: in 34th in Massachusetts, there's a couple of nightclubs over there in that area, restaurants in that area. So when you got that type of hot spot, you know, nightclubs and late night restaurants and stuff like that, that's kind of, to me, that's kind of prone for crime.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
You know, so it's not like you're gonna go out here to say, for instance, 62nd in College. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's the different.
Yeah.
Different area that you're dealing with.
Yeah, much different. The community. Now, I'm gonna say this. Let me back up.
Go ahead.
I feel like that community on the east side has, I guess I can say that they really given up on the officers and pretty much want to take law into their own hands. Because every time you turn the TV on, what do you see? Near the east side killing. East side killings.
If you're a cop, you probably don't want to go to that area to patrol, but you got, if you signed up to do the job, come on, let's do the job.
Excuse me for a minute. One particular area that we did not hit on, that I do not see, is 34th and Keystone. Yes, that is on. That is a. Yeah.
They didn't on the facts that because we got all this from a website, which all the facts that we're giving you, we're going to put down below in the description box so you can fact check it yourself. That was not on the list, and you're right. As us, we know where all the crimes are going down, but they don't put it in there. But I guess the crime is just getting started there, but it ends up somewhere else. I'm going to say it like that.
Or vice versa, because a lot of people they'll shoot you down there near what's that, Forest Manor?
Yeah.
And then they'll shoot you, then they'll catch you and kill you up there near the school.
You might get shot on that corner,
right?
And end up driving all the way home before you actually kill over there. And they're like, oh, well, we found them in Hallville.
Hey, this is no joke. So I'm leaving this area at 38th and 38th Street area right off of Keystone. And I turn down this corner. Well, I'm in the passenger seat. So as we turn down this corner and we ready to go south on Keystone, Lord and behold, I had the worst thing in my life. There was a body in the middle of the street.
Oh my God!
So she was okay. You know what I'm saying?
She was alive.
Yeah, she was alive. But I'm like, can you imagine? You know what I'm saying? You turn the corner, everything is good. You laughing, and all of a sudden you just look up and there's a body that's not moving in the middle of the street. You're like, no, not today.
I think I can one up you, sir. I'm from let's just say I'm from Hallville. Let's say like that. And in front of my front yard, there was a shooting, and the individual crashed his car in my front yard and got out and basically died in my grassy knoll.
Yeah.
That's about the closest I've been to crime.
Yeah.
I don't like it because I don't want anyone to pass away, but
right.
The struggle is real.
Oh yeah, and even with that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we could take it. I don't know. I'm not gonna say we can, but I've learned to take things like that because I've also lived downtown where I walked up on a young man who was living in the same building that we lived in, and he was deceased. You know what I'm saying? And, so it takes a toll on you, but I've gotten to the point where, or should I say, in my life, I've gotten to the point where I've learned to deal with death because I know death is coming.
Yeah,
I know, what I'm saying, that there's no way to avoid it. How we die, I don't care too much for it. I'm not a violent type person, but hey, excuse me, America. Hello, let's get this out. Let's get this out there right now, okay? I won't kill you if I don't have to. Okay, I won't kill you if I don't have to. Just don't come. Hey, let's keep it peaceful. Yeah. But anyway,
as another person would say, myself. I'm a big guy. I'm a 400-pound guy. Yeah, I know a lot of people are saying, "What the?"
Yeah, you don't want to walk up on him.
Yeah, I'm a big guy, but I'm getting, as one would say, I'm getting too old for this. So I'm at the point where I might have to take out something and handle my business too.
There you go.
Because life is people will take your life away in a heartbeat.
Yeah, they will.
34th and Southern, and just go back to some of these places. That would be on the south. That's not the south side.
That'd be the east side, bro.
That's it, Sutherland?
Yeah, it's east side, 34th and Sutherland. That's like right there off of Fall Creek and 30th Street, where Barbecue Heaven is.
Oh, because now we got one. The last one is 30th and Fall Creek Boulevard, so that would kind of make sense.
And then they're right around the corner from one another.
Yeah. So there's some places that that you could avoid, but like I said, I live in one of them. But I myself would, love you to come around. We got businesses just like everybody else do.
Oh yeah.
We don't want you to avoid us because we're the plague, but yeah, we have some crime in our area. We as people, a lot of people say, well, why do we as a people? I don't say us as blacks or us as men, but we as a people, what drives us to commit a lot of these crimes? It's obvious. Some of them are obvious. Some of them are a little bit, have some undertone. Let's just start with the kids. Why do kids do it? A lot of these young kids nowadays, they just have a short temper. Let's be honest.
Most definitely.
Some of these adults do too, but kids, they these young kids think they can take on the world.
Gangs.
Yeah, there's a lot of that moving in. Just for information, so a lot of people might not know. The Sir 13, SUR 13, that is a gang, people.
Yes,
it's
it is.
A Latino gang. In case you
and they're growing because they're not just here in our city. They're growing rapidly across this country.
Yes, they are growing. I just wanted to give you a heads up in case you see it on a building or you see it on your kid's notebook.
Anything.
Yeah, just be aware. Yes, just be aware of that. That's what it is. Am I saying stay away from them? They're going to do what they're going to do anyway. But as long as you are armed with the knowledge of what's going on, that's half the battle. Free time. These kids, man, when we were growing up.
Yeah, we didn't have all this free time. I'm dead serious. Hey, it was chores, it was homework, it was for me.
Come on, first of all, let's not lie to these people. We did have a little bit of free time. We were running the streets on our bicycles, and we did not have to come home until
the lights came on. The street lights came on. You better be home before the street lights come on.
So we did have a little free time on our hands too. But what do I mean by free time? These kids they don't have a program to go to. They don't. They like my
The real deal.
my co-host just said. They just shut down the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah,
that's a big thing that drives these young kids for something to do.
Yeah, we need something to do for our community, for our youth in our community. Work programs, that our youth can prosper from and grow from and get skills and stuff like that from. Whether it's building habitat homes or out here picking up trash off the sides of the streets or something. Gotta have something for them to do constructive.
Another reason why, and this is not a dig or a put down. It's just kind of the truth. Parental household.
Yes.
A lot of young black men or black men in general are getting locked up. And there's only one parent in the household. She has to be the breadwinner and the parent.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that's a bad thing. We're saying that happens.
It does.
And that's why I say it goes back to the real deal said. You got to be involved with your community. If you know that parent has issues, they having issues, struggling. Help them out.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's right now. I think it's a lot of pride going on with America. A lot of people in America where I don't want to ask for help because if I ask for help, it'll make me look bad. No, you know what I'm saying? Because if my mom needed to go down and work at the bus station when I was coming up, and my babysitter had doctor's appointments or couldn't do it that day for whatever odd reason, she had to ask Miss Lucille. You know what I'm saying? And it was a community thing where everybody looked out for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Whether it was, hey boy, don't be sitting around here doing this, that, and the other, or sitting down talking to you, telling you what you need to do, how you need to do it, and how you need to act.
Or either these, some of these grannies just say, hey, come here, I got some trash to take out. You can take out for me. Yeah. Even if some of these kids get upset when they give them $1, but at least you got something.
You got something. You
can go buy you a bag of Takis and call it a day or whatever.
Or save it up.
Say go empty a lot of people's trash.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
Cut some grass. That's another reason. Money. These kids are turning to crime.
Money in the community.
There's no money for kids because they don't have the programs that they used to. I remember when I was growing up and I was a kid, they had the I can't remember the name of it, but they had young kids during the summer doing jobs.
Partners 2000.
I believe that's what it was.
Yeah, that was my first job.
That's mine too.
Let me see. If I think back, I think that might have been Mayor Hutnut or Stephen Goldsmith that came out with that program.
They need to keep doing it. I mean, just ask yourself, would you be willing to lose $10 out of your paycheck if you knew these kids are going to be taken care of and earning their own money, so they don't have to rob you in the street?
Right.
Let's put it in perspective here, people.
I definitely agree with you. You know what I'm saying? If you just give them a little, you know what I'm saying, and show them that this, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do the crime down here in your neighborhood, or you don't have to go out here in Muncie and kill somebody, or go out here to
or join a gang
or anything. You know what I'm saying? All you have to do is put back into the community. Like you said before, you want to run through here, but none of that money comes to our community. I'm not taking nothing away from anyone. I promise I'm not taking nothing away from anyone. But our dollars do not stay here in our community.
Yeah.
Period. The Asians, when they have these wig shops, these beauty shops, they do not, you in the community, but the money does not come back to the community.
Yeah,
so we're out here basically starving. We're looking for the help. You want to give us what you can, or you want to give us what you feel like we can have, and it's not enough. So we have to go out here and make ends meet. So we're gonna knock Little Joe upside the head and take what Little Joe got. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can have more. It's ridiculous.
You basically shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
For a problem that you could have solved in the long run.
You know, it's just right now it's too political. Nobody in the offices are looking at the community anymore.
Yeah, we'll address that another time.
Yeah,
that is a big thing. We could spend forever on that topic.
For real.
Another thing, peer pressure. I know a lot of people are laughing right now, but peer pressure, it happened back in the 60s. It happened back in the 40s.
Happened in our era.
And it's still happening.
Yeah,
a lot of people say you're not cool unless you're smoking vapes. You're not cool unless you're
whacking somebody or hey, you know, what? I don't want to run up in no store with no car. Oh man, you're lame.
Yeah, you know? Don't let peer pressure take you down.
Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? You have your own free will to choose and do what you want to do. You get out here and you know what's right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? We're not illiterate. So we have to get out here and do things the positive way.
Yeah, you just gotta be smart about things. You know.
Yeah, we definitely do. You know, with adults, you know, here we go. We're saying adults. We have short tempers.
Yeah, they have short tempers also.
We do, and marital stress. Yes, marital stress. That is another topic, but I guarantee you that's another
causing a lot of people to get, your wife on your back. Oh, when are you gonna get the job? When are you gonna do this? And you get stressed out. You just say, forget it. Let me just go rob somebody.
Right.
So you can get off my back.
And then you either end up robbing them, killing someone, or you're getting caught, or somebody end up killing you.
And then you're not with her anyway.
So
let's just play things smart.
And then here the thing is, just a few minutes ago you said the black man is out of the home. It's like a circle.
It's a vicious circle. They want us to be in.
Yeah,
but as long as you know the circle, you can always get yourself out.
You can always get yourself out. Don't be that guinea pig that just runs around in that little cage and hops on that wheel and just keeps going. Make a change.
Yeah.
Make a change.
And I understand it's hard to do that when they don't pay us enough. Low pay.
Yeah, low pay. Yeah. Oh my goodness, man. We got so much that we could talk about on this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen of this podcast, listen to me.
Get your questions out there. Get your topics that you want us to cover.
Comments, everything. You know what I'm saying?
We can talk about it forever, but
if you on the north side, if you hear this podcast, if you on the east, southeast side, west side, southwest side, chime in. You know what I'm saying?
If you a brother, chime in. If you not our race,
chime in. Hey, we want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. Why? Because we are in the hood.
In the community, in the hood.
We are in the hood.
The felonies, I understand. You got a felony. It's hard to get a job. There's a lot of things that felon. I mean, as you think about it, let's break this down. I don't want to last too long on this, but a lot of people say felons are the ones that are committing the crimes because they get back out on the street and they have nothing to do to get back on their feet. Let's just put it this way. If you're a felon, listen to me. During the election, there are all these elderly people that need to get to the voting house. Mm-hmm. If you out on the street and you do have a driver's license, who's stopping you from taking them to the polling place?
Ooh.
And then if they really wanted to go, who's stopping them from paying you to take them? There's Ubers all day long.
Yeah. And you know what? Not even that. Even if you find it in your heart. I know you may not want to do this all the time out here in the podcast land, but find it in your heart. If it's around that time and you know that there's some senior citizens that need to get out and vote and you can't vote, take that person at free will. Please, you will be blessed.
Or even if you know there's a community of elderly, a senior community, and they don't have a shuttle bus, there you go. Get a passenger van. Go every week. Say, hey, I'm coming every week. You guys get at the front entrance. I'm being there every week. It's gonna cost you, but I can take you to the grocery store. I can bring you back. It's better than you catching the bus, missing the bus. You get the comfort of me picking you up, taking you. I mean, there's a lot of things that felons can do.
Yeah.
That they ain't struck down yet. No. Yeah, I understand. You don't have to tell them when you pick them up. Yeah, I'm a felon, y'all, and then they get all scared or whatever. But that's your opinion if you want to go through that.
Yeah.
But It's just the fact that there's things that you can do.
Yeah, it really
It's better.
is.
It beats no job, and that's the other thing. Reason people, commit crimes, they don't have no job. But there's ways to find jobs. But yeah, I understand it's hard to get a job if you have a felon.
If you're a felon, yes, it is.
It's hard to get a job if you are 18 years old and you just went from a kid to an adult, and you don't know how to do a great interview.
I understand
you
that.
just
I've been there before.
You got your pants down.
Been there, yeah.
Yeah, come on, just be honest. Ask somebody for help.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes a long way if you just sit up here and say, I need some assistance. Don't be ashamed to sit there and say, hey, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know where to get this info from. How do I get to this resource? Don't be ashamed, because if you don't know, then how are you going to prosper? I mean, how are you going to make anything good for yourself if you don't know? You have to ask questions. A question unasked is a dumb question to me. That's a question is, you don't ask, especially if you want to know. You want to know something, you know what I'm saying? You don't ask that question. Well, that's a dumb question.
That's another thing, the proverb that I like to live by. Knowledge is power.
It is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Free time. Adults have free time just like kids do.
Yeah.
If you have free time, do something with your time,
Yeah.
If it's a matter of getting out and looking for a job, it's a matter of going out helping somebody else with a job they got to do. Just stay busy.
And let me say something to the men out here right quick. Men, I have had my share of jobs. I will tell you that I've had my share of jobs. But you know what? I had responsibilities. I had children. I've got children I had to take care of. There was times that I had to walk from where I was living to a local restaurant just to get a job in the snow. And, the woman looked at me at the end of the interview, and she told me, she was like, I'm going to hire you not only because we need the help, but because you made an effort to wherever you came from, you walked in this snow just so you can get a job. And I told the woman, I have a family to take care of. There's no reason out here why you cannot support your family, support yourself. There's no reason.
Even if that means you just telling somebody your story.
Yeah.
Because if you tell somebody your story, somebody might bless you by saying, well, I just heard about this job down the street.
Man, we have all kind of connects. There's all kind of resources out here that you can link to, and just get your knowledge on. That way, you'll be able to get out here and make the ends meet that you need. I'm here to tell you, it's hard. Trying to stay positive when someone's always knocking you back 3-4 steps, but keep pushing. Keep pushing, no matter what. When somebody tells you no, you're going to hear that no so many times, but look forward to that yes, because somebody's going to say yes.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. One last thing, it's kind of important. Traumatic breakdown. People don't realize when you are trying and you might have a job and all of a sudden you get fired from that job, it's traumatic.
Yes,
if you're sitting there supporting your family, sometimes it's traumatic. Or if you are, you have a mental imbalance or you have a mental instability. Mm-hmm. That's another reason why the cops, they need better training.
Yes,
to deal with the mental, health of those that are on the street with that issue. That's another reason why some of these crimes are being committed and cops come out there, want to shoot first and then ask questions later. Right. No, you got to find out if that person is having a mental,
what's their background? You know what I'm saying? Hey, ma'am, sir, how long has he been like this? You know what I'm saying? Has he always been this aggressive?
Yeah, whether or not he may not have a mental, problem, but he may have lost his job.
Right.
That's traumatic.
You
don't want to mess with somebody and go at them talking about you need to stop what you're doing. He just lost his job. Come on, let's come at him a different way, maybe.
Yeah, but I would definitely agree with you 110%.
Yeah, so
on that.
let them get training to deal with someone who has true mental, problems, or either they just having a bad day. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, because it's just one of those things where you have to evaluate the situation, and that not after suspect or someone is down. It's just sad the way our community police right now is just handling situations of the mental. So I just hope that the next 4 years with our re-elect mayor, I believe this is his third term. So I'm just really hoping that he can nip this mental in the bud, really get some officers trained the right way. That way we can have less, because even to date, there has been 18 shootings so far this year, police action shootings.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, police action shootings.
Yeah.
So how many of those could have been prevented if officers, would have known the background of this young man instead of seeing the negative? Yeah, instead of seeing that, he's been locked up, 86 and 89 and 2011 and 12. Instead of seeing that, see what the problem is. See, why was he having this problem in 86? It started back then. What happened? Did he lose a loved one that was close to him? I've been in that situation where I had to lose a job, come home and tell my wife and my family, I can't do it no more for a little while. Yeah. I just got fired. That is a mental thing.
That is, yeah. You're telling me. I've been there too.
So we have to, and we as black men, let's be strong. If we hear that, keep your head up. Don't get angry. I used to be quick to anger. I'm telling you now, I'm telling you the truth. I used to quick to anger when I was terminated. I did this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden you're going to terminate me? Blah, 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 blah. That was me. Now, as I've gotten older, it gonna sting.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna sting.
It's definitely gonna sting, but I'm taking it a little bit better than what I used to, because first of all, I'm looking at it as I was looking for a job when I found this one. So you asking me to leave this company, that's fine. You're gonna temporarily stub my toe. But I'm going to come back because there's somebody out there that's going to hire me. And even if nobody hires me, I could pick up a lawnmower. I could pick up a rake. I could take out Miss Betty's trash. I can do things. There you go. I don't know if you remember.
Go ahead.
But back in our day, we didn't have what they, Ubers and all this.
Yeah.
We had bootleg cabs. We did. We had bootleg cabs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. When yellow cab and green checker cab was out, we didn't, people didn't want to pay them fares. So, you called all Walter, hey, Mr. Walter Johnson, you driving today? Yeah, what you need? Those are the things that kept money in our community's pockets back there, and we can do it again.
Yeah.
We can do it again. Stop trying to, men and women out there, and I'm talking to the women too. Men and women out here, stop trying to gain on everybody, trying to capitalize on everybody, and just help one another. Pick up someone who's needing help to get to the grocery store who can't afford an Uber.
And if you don't want to actually use your gas to take them somewhere, just tell them, hey, there's a pantry over here. You go here. Or, hey, there's a job that's open and they need somebody over there. Or, just give them information.
Yeah.
If you don't want to waste your gas.
Iron sharpens irons, community. Iron sharpens iron.
All right. We've been talking about a lot of things. Let's go ahead and start wrapping this up, because we're going to talk about solutions on how to fix it. This is just some of our solutions. It's not the permanent way. It's not the best way to fix it. But this is some of our solutions of how we think, might help.
I like this one. I like the first one. It says provide. The neighborhood parent get permission with the police, with doorbell ring cameras, being able to report all kind of graffiti, trash in the street, strangers in the area where there's a multitude of children. I like that kind of thing. If I see someone that I've never seen in my community before, And like in my area, I've lived in my area now, 10 plus years. If you was to walk in my area and you was to be there 2-3 days and I've never seen you before, and you just walking around, I'm going to be a little suspicious. You know what I'm saying?
These are more solutions, that you can do for yourself to help yourself stay safe. Yeah, he's right. Provide. Another P, prevent. Mm-hmm. If you got valuables, don't leave them, out when people come over to visit. Right. They're gonna be eyeing it.
Yeah, they sure will.
If you got things that are important to you, get the serial number, write it down. You never know when you have to take it to the cops, because they might take it to the pawn shop, and there you go, you got it back.
Yeah, that's what we used to do. And see, I don't know why, but it seemed like our parents versus today's parents, you know what I'm saying? They did stuff like that. My mom literally wrote down, hey, this is a serial number to my TV.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays TVs are starting to get cheaper and cheaper, but still, if it's something that you want to keep, and something that you got insurance on, you might as well write it down.
Why not?
Use your insurance. If you're paying for house insurance, why not write down the things that house insurance is going to recover you?
Take care of.
Because when they come and steal it, the first thing insurance people are going to say is, we don't know you had that.
Right. Take pictures, write things down, ladies and gentlemen. That's one of the most logical things when you get your house, man. Just write down your invaluables and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Cars. This is what don't make sense to me.
Go ahead.
I hear on my TV and my radio stations about car break-ins. Now, come on now. You can't stop everybody. Uh-huh. But if I'm sitting around here with a $500 laptop, my piece, and some other things up in my car, and I done heard in my community there's been break-ins, why am I going to continue to leave it in the car? I'm going to take it out.
That's
Ladies
true.
And gentlemen, come on now. Use common sense. You got a community, you done looked on the news and 4 houses down, you know what I'm saying? Your car, your neighbor's car done broken into, and then I had 3 other cars broken into 2 streets over. Get your collectibles out of your car.
Yeah. And that's another thing. Communicate to everybody that lives in your home what are the rules. At 9 o'clock, you're gonna lock the doors.
Yeah.
Every week, time before you go to bed, you're gonna check the windows. Have a routine. Have rules set. If someone has, a youngster in your family has a key, check that key every so often. Hey, you got your key?
Right.
Hey, just stay up on the rules of what it takes to keep that house safe. So you don't have to worry about those type of things.
Yeah, and my thing is, what I'm saying, you've got to protect your family. Whatever you got to do, protect your family. I mean, I am one of those who believe and advocate the real deal. Well, I keep my steel. So, you know what I'm saying? You cross that line, and that's where they're going to find you at. You know what I'm saying? But, there's other things you can do, too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Make sure you got make sure your Ring cameras are always on charge.
Any type of, camera in general.
Any camera. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure you got plenty of visual around your house. Make sure your house is lit at night.
Yeah, on the outside.
On the outside, yes. Driveways. If you gentlemen, come on. I know this is another topic, but right now we're gonna speak on this right real quick. Gentlemen, if your wife is coming home and you already at home and your wife is coming home, it's in the wintertime and it's 7 o'clock. What time is it? It's dark time. Go out there with you. Meet your girl. You know what I'm saying? Meet your wife.
If she knows she's coming home.
Yeah.
Tell her to call you before she gets, she gets on the street. Tell her to call you.
Yeah.
That way you can be outside waiting for her.
Just in case.
Or if there's, you could put up some lights. Put up some lights.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people ain't going to attack, nobody if they get lights, if they can be seen.
Yeah. No, but criminals do not want to be seen.
Yeah. And a
they
ring.
Want to stay in the dark.
If you got a ring sitting there facing the driveway, that's going to deter them. Yeah. As soon as they start to come up on your wife, first thing now she has to say is, there's a Ring camera facing your way. Make
sure that she knows how to use it if she's got one. Ladies and gentlemen, do not walk around with your permit in your pocket. Okay? If you're going to have a permit, even though you don't have to have a permit in the state of Indiana to carry no more, but if you just so happens to have a permit, then my thing is this: don't just carry your permit, carry what is going to help you out.
Yeah, this is be honest, but there's a lot of people out there in the world. They don't want to carry a gun. They feel like they want to preserve life. I understand that's their right, but let's put that out there too. There's a lot of options for you too.
Yes,
there's a lot of guns out there. There's a gun out there called SALT, SALT. That gun uses balls of pepper mace. And when you shoot somebody with it, it explodes. So it's like firing mace into their eyes, but it's in bullet form. So you can get one of those. There's also a little rubber bullets. A gun that you can use to get rubber bullets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of options, and we're gonna put a lot of these down in our description box, so you'll have them. Safes. If you have valuables, buy a safe.
Yeah.
Get a safe. We got a link for that down there. Like he said, you got your wife coming home. She's going to need a stun gun / mace. Whatever. We got that in link.
Pepper spray, ladies and gentlemen. Mace is good, but I heard pepper spray really will shut you down.
Yeah. Whichever way you want to go, we got a link for one of those down there for you. Like he said also, cameras. I understand. ADT, they want... Some of those places like that, they want to run you through the ringers, trying to get you your home protected. But you can do it a lot cheaper than you think.
Yes.
There's a system out there called Simply Safe.
Yes, Blink.
Blink is part of the Ring family.
Yeah.
You can go that route. There's a lot of ways you can do it. We got links for you down there. These are options that'll help you. Why? Because if you really think about it, if you have a Ring system or a camera system in your house, you don't have to snitch.
No, you don't.
Because the cops are going to come and ask you for that tape, the footage.
Yeah.
So what can you do? Tell them no?
You know what would be nice as a Christmas present for the city of Indianapolis?
What's that?
For the mayor to distribute everybody Ring cameras.
It might be good, but there's a lot of people that don't know how to put those up. But there you go, felons.
You know
how to put those things up. You can make bank.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, those are some things you can do to protect yourself. Now we're going to talk about the little solutions that the city can do. I mean, yeah, you could do some things. It's good to be proactive. But let's just see, you're paying these people also out of your paycheck to take care of you as public officials, whether they be city council, whether they be governors, whether they be mayors. Mm-hmm. They have responsibilities to take care of some of the things they got to do too. But here's some things that they can do. There's suggestions that we think that might help them to help us.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
I'll start first. They can help offenders get or find jobs or homes. Because the first thing they get out, they're gonna say, "Man, this is hard. I can't." If they're let's just say they're sex offenders,
right?
They only got certain places they can live, and that's away from schools, away from parks. They're gonna need help finding those places,
right? So
the government, the city, the state, whatever, can make a list of those places. Whether or not they're available or not, that's not important. That's up to whoever's looking for it to call and find that out. But the city can make that public, make that information known.
Yes, they can.
Jobs, they can help say, hey, these are the people who are hiring felons.
Yes.
Or, there's things they can do.
There's plenty of things out here for the felons, you know what I'm saying? On job training, you can get on job training from from these companies that hire felons.
Or the city can give grant or give bonuses, or what do you call them? Incentives to those who hire felons.
Yeah.
But the city needs to be more proactive on letting people know where are these places at.
Yes.
So people can get the jobs rather than go out there and rob.
That makes a lot of sense.
Go ahead.
So offer cheaper housing for our communities, for those who get out here in the streets and been incarcerated, or even the elderly. You know what I'm saying? Even if you got to do it for the elderly or the less fortunate. See if we can find cheaper, more affordable housing for our community, more tutor programs for our kids. That way, our dropout rate would go down. Because right now, I mean, it seems like the millennials are kind of struggling. You got a handful of them out there that's really actually trying to make something of themselves. Yeah. But then you got a nice majority of them, that are really just kind of like giving up.
Yeah, they might be having dyslexia, and they just say, well, I'm stupid. No, you're not stupid. You have a disorder that is keeping you from reaching your full potential.
Right.
If we can have ways of getting help to figure that out, that'll be good. Yeah. Just programs for after school for the kids to stay out of trouble. Even programs for the adults to stay out of trouble. Come on. If you got a program where, adults can do something rather than, go rob somebody, and they can be doing something more productive, that I would think I would want to do that rather than go, rob somebody.
Yeah, I really would.
Even if I might not, heaven forbid I won't, but even if I might not get paid for it, at least it keeps my idle hands busy.
It keeps you busy, that's right. Ladies and gentlemen out here in the podcast land, so let me just say this, go to your local clergies, your local churches. They can always, I know several pastors, but I know one right now in the hood. I know one right now in the hood that will stick out his hand, foot, and everything to help you.
Yeah, and if
he's building, this is, for right now, besides a few other pastors, the only pastor I've seen with my eyes who've actually done anything for our community. I've seen this. Yeah. I've seen this pastor. He has grown. You know what I'm saying? He's doing a lot for the people who's coming out of the incarceration system. Yeah. He's giving them a rehabilitation process. He's giving them resources. I can appreciate that from that pastor, from that bishop. I can appreciate that from him. But sooner or later, I feel like the community is going to run out of those resources. If the outer sources, if our government is not continuing to fund them, you know what I'm saying? I'm the mayor, but I'm ready to cut your funding.
A lot of these church programs run off of the government.
Yeah.
And if you don't get with your government and say, yeah, we still need this money.
Right.
They're going to be like, well, we can send it somewhere else. No, get out there and tell them you still need this money.
You still need it. And then on top of that, if you asking for that money and you've gotten it once, I feel like this. Show yourself approved. This is what I've done. This is what I've done with the money that your government has given me for my community. I've built a rehabilitation home. So when they come out, they don't have to go to the streets. They can come here for a little while.
Yeah, if you're a member of a church and you wondering what can you do to stop the violence in the neighborhood, this is something you could do. Go talk to the city and talk to the pastor. Pastor can talk to whoever's above him to get that money so y'all can start a program where you put ex-offenders who know carpentry to work.
Yeah.
Even if it's working around that church or working around that neighborhood, a lot of people need a fence put up. A lot of people need a gutter cleaned. A lot of people need a gutter put up. There's things that you can do as your community, whether it's church, whether it's just you as your community, as a member of your community.
Another thing that I see that we've got listed here that can be solution for the cities that I can say that I've seen and I've heard that they're working out quite well is camera on the block. Cameras in the hood. They have the license plate readers now. They do have license plate readers now, and they have those cameras out where they're capable of seeing things even at a far distance.
Yeah, the ones I've noticed that heard about the technology is if as soon as they hear a gunshot, that camera turns to that area and see what's going on.
Yeah, so they, in a sense, you could sit up there and say they're trying to improve.
Oh yeah,
they're trying to improve our city.
But if they don't know where to put them at, because you're not calling in, they won't. They
don't know.
They won't put them up.
And we have to let them know, hey, you know, I'm having high crime over here. You know, might need some cameras, or you know, we may need some street lights out here. Because you know, in my community, I'm gonna say this: in my community, I feel like we can do better on the street light situation.
Yeah,
you know,
too.
Because a lot of times when things happen in homes, homes are criminalized or robbed, or you know, you done sit here and pull the gun out on Miss Susie. Well, what's the first thing the person gonna do? They're not gonna run to no street lights. They're gonna run in the dark.
Oh yeah.
And you know, you can get clean in my neighborhood. You can get clean away because there's very little lighting. Yeah. And I understand, you know, it took me some time to understand why our lighting system was like it is, you know, because who wants to have bright lights in the neighborhood at late at night, you know what I'm saying? But it's for the protection of your home, your neighbor, and your neighbor's neighbor.
Yeah, if your neighbor is really complaining that much about it, you know,
it doesn't
you could talk to them and see, you know, well, what's a good time for me to turn these down, you know, or turn them off completely, but Don't just give up and do nothing.
Yeah, don't do
because
nothing.
Because when he gets broken into, the first thing he's gonna say is, "Did you record it?" You know, I would have, but you told me to turn that light off.
Yeah,
you know.
So we just gotta use our right sense of mind to know what to do right. You know what I'm saying?
Let's also give help to the homeless to get them get on their feet. Yeah, I understand homelessness all over, not just in Indianapolis, but all over is a big problem. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to give money to someone who's not going to try. Maybe they just had a really bad falling out. Maybe I can say, I don't know, but maybe some of them are dealing with child support and they don't want to go into the system.
The government, a lot of them are veterans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the government, you know, one thing I can say in short, the government will tell you, oh, we'll take care of you. We'll do this. We'll do that. And we'll give you this. Once you get out and you've served, we'll take care of you. I've known personally my stepdad. And I'm telling you now, my stepdad, when he had cancer, God rest his soul, they did till almost nothing for him.
Yeah, that's another thing. We're losing a lot of pensions, a lot of retirements, and a lot of just things that, you know, that were good back in the day. People say 401k is good. A lot of people don't know how to use that. They don't know how to sign up. They don't know what it's good for.
Right.
But if we had acknowledgement or, you know, information on it, that might be a good thing. But still, you know, help on how to, you know, navigate these treacherous things, these treacherous waters, as they say.
Yeah.
What else? Make DNA evidence admissible in court. Yeah, a lot of people say, well, that's what got me off on my last case. I don't want that stuff in, you know. Well, yeah, but let's just say you got convicted of doing something, and that's the only thing that can get you out of jail.
When you were one at the end.
Yeah. You sit there, this woman sitting there saying that you raped her, but
you know you wasn't there.
DNA would put you out of the picture, but you wish you had it. But the lawyers were saying, no, it's unadmissible. You know, if it's going to help you, why not, you know, add this to, you know, shed a light.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
A lot of times, yeah, you know, when that DNA gets admitted and you know you did the crime, yeah, it's going to be bad. But a lot of times it's going to help you when these bad cops or bad lawyers or bad people are trying to send you up the river for something you know you didn't do.
Yeah. So, and that don't mean everybody cry, I'm innocent. No, not everybody's innocent. No, not everybody innocent.
Yeah, not everybody, but there's some people who are. So let's just get them out of the jail. There's so many stories of someone who's been in jail 15, 13, 30 years, and they finally find evidence of their innocence, and then they out.
Half
and all
their
they can,
life
all they
wasted.
can do is cry and say they're happy to be out. But you know they want to say, why the heck y'all put me in the first place?
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on now, I tried to tell you this 30 years ago. Hell, I was at work 30 years ago, just got off, went to McDonald's, came back, and I'm locked up. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I told you I didn't do it 30 years ago. Then all of a sudden, then you're going to tell me, oh, you were right. Yeah, so I agree with you. You should make DNA evidence admissible. Yes.
Yeah. These abandoned houses that we go past in these bad neighborhoods. We should be able to do something with them. Talk to the owner of the house. If he don't want to sell it, he should be one to fix it up. If he ain't got the money to fix it up, see if there's some grants for him to get. Only if he's going to fix it up.
Don't give him
no money if he's just going to go and party with it.
Right.
But yeah, if we got grants to fix up homes, let's fix them up. And if we got to fix them up, we got all these inmates that are just getting out of jail, and we give them a skill like carpentry or electricity.
Let them help you.
There we go. We're knocking out two things at once.
There you go.
We're fixing up an abandoned house, which is raising the property value up, and we're giving people who just got out of jail
an
job.
Opportunity. Yep.
I mean, we can win some of these situations if we just talk and use our heads with some of them.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with that.
You got any other things you want to bring up, or?
No, I'm just gonna say this. You know, as a melanated brother to my community, let's do better. Let's do better. Okay, this is just the beginning of our podcast, and I hope that we can reach one and able to, touch a heart. You know what I'm saying? Touch a mind. Let somebody know, you really don't have to do this. You really don't have to go out here and rob Miss Susie. You ain't got to go out here and stab Fred.
Yeah, I agree with you. But to go back to what you're saying, my last note, let's hold these politicians accountable.
I agree.
I mean, we vote them in, and then we just sit back and wait for the next election. No,
don't do that.
Let's go ahead and see what they're going to actually do. If they don't do what they're saying they're going to do,
hold them accountable.
Don't vote for them again.
There you go. You can't. And you know what? Honestly, and I'm gonna say this truthfully, me is not about what I am, whether I'm a Democratic or whether I'm a Republican. I feel like if you're gonna, regardless of what your party is, if you're gonna do something and it's gonna better my community, if it's gonna better my city, my state, I don't care if you liberal, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, I'm going to vote for you.
And I agree with you 100% on that. And I agree with you 100% on that. I'll just stop it there. But I also want to say to the fact of if you are
a lot of these politicians, for instance, they just had the mayor race with Jefferson Shreve and Mayor Joe Hogsett. I really was willing to go Republican for this gentleman. But sometimes, news ads and people in your ear can really persuade you, and then you see things for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I really kind of had to look at where we at right now with our current mayor and what he has done. And I can say I do appreciate him helping out the youth with these teamwork programs. I do. I see him as being a big brother. I've seen that ad as him being a big brother through the Big Brother and Sister program. But what pushed me away from the Republican Party this time, was if you're supposed to be against something, but yet and still we see you in an ad with the same thing that you're supposed to be against, then how am I supposed to, you're that's double standard. You're kind of like, what they want to say that,
playing both sides.
Yeah, playing both sides. There you go. So, I'm an advocate, and I'm telling you, no, guns are bad, this, that, and the other, but I'm standing in there with at a prop or at a political interview function, or whatever function, and there's this guy with, a pistol strapped to him. So, you kind of like, another sensitive subject that touched on was abortion. He made a comment that's not part of the mayor's job. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like that's part of the mayor's job because I want you to be able to stop it. I'm pro-life. Okay. I'm pro-life, and I feel that. And not jumping off the subject, but I feel that women have their rights. You give women their rights, and politically, if the city of any city mayor can do anything about it to help, then
okay. Well, back to what I was going to say. I don't want to cut you off or anything, but back to what I was trying to say. There's a lot of things that politicians are trying to push. Mm-hmm. And that's what I was trying to get at. There's a lot of things they're trying to push. To say that you're one part of one party, it's hard to say that because a lot of the things they believe in, you do believe in. But there are some things that you say, no, I'm not with that.
Right.
So to say that you're a part of a party, those days are starting to become few. But here's what I want to say, bottom line. Why don't we focus on one thing, the one thing that you want to get changed, you want to get fixed, you want to change in the world. Mm-hmm. And let's just get that passed first. You know, I understand there's a lot of things you want to fix, but if we can get a group consensus of what we want to change, let's just say kids dying in school.
Okay.
Mass shootings. There's ways of fixing that. They're bipartisan without taking away people's guns. We don't need to take away people's guns to fix this problem.
No.
Now, here's the thing. If you got a person, and that person, whether they be white or black, whether they be voting for Trump or, let's just call him Biden for now, there's a way you can still fix this problem and fix it as in, all you got to do is put a lock on the gun.
Yeah, most definitely.
When you hear about a lot of these shootings, how did the child or whoever the person is get a hold of that gun and you'll use it if it didn't have a lock on the gun? I'm not talking about on the cabinet, on the gun.
On the gun, yeah.
Because if you just put a lock on a cabinet, some of these cabinets are wooden. You can break the glass to get inside.
Yes, you can.
Let's put the locks on the semi-automatics, the locks on the automatics. That doesn't stop you from having it. It doesn't stop you from using it. You can always take the lock off, go to the range.
It stops that child from hurting himself
or someone
else. That's right.
And if you are that person who's actually committing that crime, you took the lock off the gun.
Yes, you did.
So you had some sense and some clarity to get your key, take that lock off that gun, and go commit the crime that you committed. So to say that I didn't know what I was doing, how can you say that?
Yeah.
So how is that a bad thing? We're not taking your guns away.
We're just lock them up. Lock them up. That's it.
Now, if they get it from somewhere else, okay, we'll address that another time. But yeah, there's ways of fixing some things. You just got to look and come to an agreement that some of this stuff is simple.
It really is.
And holding these politicians accountable so they don't get to talk their way out of it or squirm their way out of it. Eventually, it's going to come to their doorstep. Heaven forbid it does. But if it hits them close to home, I bet they're going to be the first ones to say, let's get these guns off the street.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
But it's a little too late then because you waited till it affected you.
Yeah, I said the same thing with these mass shootings and these, getting these assault rifles off the street. It doesn't affect the politicians who's put into the NRA until that child or the politician's child, grandchild, niece, or whoever is involved in that school shooting.
Yeah.
They done had, there's a school shooting in Harvard. Oh, well, wait a minute, hold on. I bet you're not going to hear about no school shooting in Harvard because Harvard is a prestigious college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're looking at pretty much coming out of there being a politician, high-class doctor, lawyer. You're looking to come out of there, and I guarantee you.
Oh, no. You might hear one. It might be one of these Republicans, kid who got a bad grade and didn't make it, make the cut.
He didn't get enough marshmallows in his Fruit Loops.
Whatever it was, he's like, well, I'm going to get my daddy's gun.
Yeah. And, I to say the most, you know what I'm saying, I look at it like this. Keep your guns out of your kid's face. Point blank, period. My children didn't know I had a weapon until one day, you know, things had to appear, and they were like, they was all surprised, like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, we could anything. You lock up your bleach. Well, some people lock up their bleach. You lock up your cough syrup. You lock up all this other stuff. Well, why not lock up something that important?
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother topic. I don't want to dwell too much on it. Back to where we're getting crime. We're holding the politicians accountable. We're going to leave links to your city councilman, your mayor, and your governor, so you can contact them if you have issues. Because a lot of people don't know how to get a hold of them. Back in the day, it was all by mail.
Yeah, it was.
And now it's by email. Now it's by Twitter. You can tweet them.
Ladies and gentlemen of podcast land, if you do not know how to reach your local mayor or his affiliates, it is 3274 MAC for Mac. 327 Mac.
And then we also have the links in our description box. But yes, that's the only way we're going to get things done. And even if it's you being greedy, you want to get things done for yourself, be greedy. You live in this world just like we do.
Yeah.
Ask for what you want. Also, I just want to make note in the description box, we got links to home safes, tasers, personal alarms. Because if you don't want, you walking in, taking a run at night, for your health, you can, get a little personal alarm if someone's trying to mess with you.
Oh, yeah.
It makes a loud noise. People run away because they don't want to be,
They don't want nobody seen. Yeah, they don't want to be seen. So.
Links to Simply Safe or Ring, what do you call it? Home security system.
ADT.
I don't think we got a link to ADT, but these home systems, you can do them yourself.
Yeah.
And you can probably monitor them yourself. You don't have to pay a monthly fee.
Okay.
But it is a lot of work involved. But they do also have monitoring fees if you want to go that route. But yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, also, I just came to mind too, if you don't know already, communicate through your Nextdoor app. That is a very good app.
Yes, that is. We didn't bring that up.
Yes, that is a very good app.
There's a Nextdoor app and there's another app with the lightning on it. I can't. It'll hit me another time.
But Nextdoor.
Sorry, even if you know what I'm talking about, put it in the comments. Yeah. Help somebody out. Put that in the comments.
Yes.
Of when there's a crime in your area, it pops up on your phone. Let them know of the app. Also, like I said, we got links to the salt gun that shoots pepper spray through bullets instead of a real bullet. We got links to the rubber bullet guns. Also, something that we didn't mention, GPS trackers. A lot of people use that just to track your boyfriend or your girlfriend,
kids, whatever,
Well, they usually track the boyfriend or girlfriend. But yeah, these are used for other things, people.
Yeah.
You can track your kids with them. You can keep your valuables safe. If someone took your laptop and you put one of these in your laptop bag, you can track exactly where they took it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they don't want to hold on to something if they know it can be tracked. GPS trackers. Those will be in the links down below too. We just want to leave you with some things that you can do to help protect yourself.
Right.
If there's anything that we missed, please bring it up. We would love to tackle this topic again at another time if we have to. If we think we covered everything, that's good. We leave it alone and we'll move on to something else. But we appreciate you listening.
Yes, we do. We thank you. We just want to tell you now that you are capable of making sure that you can catch us on Facebook. You can also catch us on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we got those links for you. We'll put them in the description box, but we can also tell you right now if you want to hold on. Twitter. We are on Twitter now.
Okay.
That will be at Tales Indie Hood. You can reach us there. Twitter is called X. I don't know if anybody noticed that. Yeah, it's not called Twitter. It's X now. I guess, what's his name?
Musk. Elon.
Yeah, he changed that. So,
okay.
we are also on, we have an email. If you want something that's real long and you just want to type it out, it tells a story or something, you can send an email. You can reach us at talesinthehood@yahoo.com.
All right. If you should happen to look us up on Facebook, you can look us up on Facebook at Tales in the Hood. Please leave your comments, questions, likes, everything. You know what I'm saying? If you got something you want to talk about that we didn't discuss, you're more than welcome to chime in and put it in the comment question box, and we'll be sure to address that.
And finally, we're going to be posting this on YouTube, and that is the YouTube at Tales in the Hood. And it's going to be on as many podcasts as we can get. Once we start finding out where they actually being posted, we'll come back and let you know where you can reach them. And this will be our first one, so we're a little bit new to this, just like you are. But you can definitely reach us at YouTube if you can't find us on the podcast of your choosing. And with that being said,
I just want to let us as a community know this is not just about, crime. It's not just about, how we can solve it and everything like that. This right here, this podcast and what we're doing is going to be for the community. So it's not just for you. It's not just for me. Best believe it's for our community. We out.
Peace.